Welcome back, guys. Magic's here, and today I want to battle an MTGO Modern League with my Bant Control brew here. Why Bant? Well, the main reason you can see here, and it's mostly the only reason, I'm gonna run Uro till I am sick of it, or it gets banned, who knows. I still think Uro is one of the best things you can do in fair matchups. It offers blue-white something that it really lacks, and that is life gain in the main deck, which is not as specific as stuff like timely reinforcements, for example. So Uro is never bad. At its worst, it will cycle and maybe ramp and gaining life while doing it, even if the opponent drops a rest in peace or something. The thing that, or the fact that he replaces himself makes him so strong, and if the opponent can't deal with it, Uro runs away with the game. He makes Mystic Sanctuary better because he, is a draw engine just as Jace, but in, contrary to Jace, he also ramps, which is important when you bounce the Sanctuary with the Cryptic, so it's, just decent creature all around, makes Dredge game 1, for example, also far better, makes Burn better, all kinds of stuff. Besides that, we are running a straight blue-white deck. 8 fetchlands in the deck, 3 Field of Ruins, 2 basic forests, 4 basic islands, 1 basic plains, all snow-covered just to fake Ice-fang, I guess. Might come up, maybe not. Then you wonder, why are you not running Ice-fang when you're running Bant anyways? Well, the reason for that is that a big meta player, at least from my past experience now, and I've played now up to 6-7 leagues or something as of recording this video, is that prowess decks of all flavors and variants are very prominent in the meta. And with that, we are speaking about Lava Dart and Gutshot. And both of those make Ice-fang a terrible blocker. And then you have other matchups like Death Shadow, where you still need a very specific set of mana that without Astrolabe can only come for your dual lands. Therefore, the Death Touch on Ice-fang will be only really activated on turn 4 at best, but more realistically, since you are working towards Supreme Verdicts and still have to get to Archmage, Shaman, Cryptic, and Sanctuary, because usually you have to put your Path to Exile that was discarded back on top on turn 4, right? So more realistically, you have to fetch out your Hallowed Fountains and Breeding Pools, and therefore the Death Touch is around turn 5 or 6, mostly active on average. So I think for these reasons, without Stoneforge in the deck and Sword to pick up, that Ice-fang is too weak. That's also the reason why I don't run Shark Typhoon right now. Sure, you can cycle it on 2 or on 3 for a 1-1, but in those prowess matchups, that is too weak, and I think that this matchup is one of the toughest for blue-white. What are you really improving then with Ice-fang or Shark Typhoons? Well, mostly the mirror matches, the Uro matches, because there it's nice to play a Shark, maybe to kill a Teferi Time Raveler, or just at the end step to gain some value, do something with your mana when you can't do anything else. Those are the matchups where those two creatures are good, but it's not like they are game deciding automatically. Sure, Shark Typhoon is nice as a bomb when both are in top deck mode and you drop it on 6 mana for a hard cast, then it can win the game surely, but when you reach such a point, that is also something that in my experience is not that common. Usually the game resolves around mid-game Teferi Time Raveler, and whoever sticks that first usually wins, so it comes less down to the Shark Typhoon, but more about if you can drop the Teferi on turn 5 and then have maybe a Force or a Counter Spell up or something like that. Then you can make the argument, okay, against Sultai they have Abrupt Decay and stuff. Well, that is true until Veil of Summer comes in after sideboard. Then you can protect your Teferi again from decays, and even if Teferi then dies, sure, they make maybe a shark token in the mid game, but if you drop into Teferi afterwards, you can bound the shark for value, so it's not automatically game over. So I don't think that Shark Typhoon is good enough in a pure control build without Stoneforge, because the main reason to run it, in my opinion, is to have more creatures that can pick up swords, and at best with instant speed to get them when they are tapped out, with maybe a sort of Feast and Famine, and then you can also drop your Planeswalkers because you get double the mana for one turn, like with Wilderness Reclamation. And then you get a huge value out of that. And of course, in Uro Mirrors, the sword is nice because you can attack past Uro or Stonewall the Uro, stuff like that. But yeah, without Stoneforge in the list, I don't see Ice-fang or Shark Typhoon. Then we run a Frantic Inventory. That is also something that does not fix any of the issues Blue-White has. Sure, it's kind of an arms race for these fair matchups. You have a hedge there. Until Cling to Dust comes into the picture, Ashiok, Soulguide Lantern, and other graveyard interaction, and then just a cycle for 2 mana again. Which is still okay, but it's not exciting, to say the least. And yeah, you have not problems in grinding something out. You can find ways to do that in the sideboard or something else, or just you could also put, like, if you really want to grind out, put 3 Factor Fictions in the sideboard. I don't know, there are so many ways to grind, but I think the issue is more the aggressive decks, and there are plenty of those running around. I have seen Mono Red Prowess, Burn, Boros Prowess, Izzet Prowess, even Ponzar usually leans on a beatdown plan where they go with a Blood Moon or Stone Rain on turn 2, right after they ramp up with Utopia Sprawl. Then they go into Season Pyro, build 2 tokens, and play a Bloodbraid Elf and pressure you with all those creatures. And you're forced to run Supreme Verdict, are tapped out. Then they might drop a Dragon or a Chandra or something. So you need a very specific set of cards to get to the later stages of the game. And that is one of the reasons why I want to run Uro 2. There were some experiences where I would have won if I just had this card that gains me 3 life. And then we come to the card I put in the front here a little bit, which is Wall of Omens. I run this in the deck as a kind of Ice-fang. Yes, it does not have flash, so it might suck, but at least it replaces itself and is an 0/4, so it blocks a little bit better. Sure, it might die immediately against the Swift Spear or will be shrinked down by the other red dude. Then they attack past it or they have a crash through. But at least in theory, you can block earlier on without fearing an immediate lava dart, right? Like, yeah, as I mentioned, the shark or the snake just die to a lava dart. They pump the team while doing that or got shot for that reason and makes you feel bad. So I try Wall of Omens here. Can't pitch it to force, unlike the Snake or Shark Typhoon, but still, it functions mostly the same. It's a blink target for Teferi. You can ramp in case you don't have better targets for your path. You play it on your wall and ramp a little bit with it. You can oust it for gaining 3 and put it back in your deck and then draw it and replace it later. Like, it's still possible. I know it's just a boring 0/4 defender, but I think if I want to hedge the Prowess matchup a little bit more, then Wall of Omens is nice there, and it can also block like Pyromancer tokens, Pyromancer itself. It can block Bloodbraid Elf, so it's nice to hide Jace behind it, and if it eats a removal spell, like a Fatal Push, well, so be it. At least it has drawn a card. Prowess is also the reason why I run the 5th spot removal and the Condemn in the sideboard over Celestial Purge. We have a lot of 2-mana ways to answer creatures after sideboard, but you really have to keep up with their mana efficiency, and therefore I think that Condemn in the sideboard helps with that, because then you have 6 1-mana removal spells. They will usually attack into you, so while I usually think Oust is better because there are creatures like Eidolon of the Revel, of the red Eidolon, that usually doesn't necessarily attack. Oust can be a little bit better, maybe also against Arbor Elf, against Stoneforge Mystic, against Noble Hierarch. There are certain creatures that will not always attack and that you still want to deal with. So I think Oust is still a little bit better in the main deck. You can also target your own Snapcaster Mage or Wall, as I mentioned, to gain 3 life. It's also fine in this case to use Snap on it as a flashback, and then put Snap back in the top 2 cards and redraw it. That's also something I have done several times. Yeah, I think I just want the Oust in the main deck. You can make an argument that there right now are no real Noble Hierarch decks. There is no Dark Confidant. Eidolon will probably attack you anyways because every burn player just attacks. So you could also run the Condemn in the main deck, which is a little bit better against haste creatures, because the creature will be put on bottom, whereas with Oust you know that they will get their haste creature again. And since it's sorcery speed, the haste creature will have dealt some damage already. But then they have this other red creature where it's better against. I forget the name, Soulscar Mage, I think. So there it's fine because it doesn't have haste. Some decks played Blister Coil Weird or Kiln Fiend, Seeker of the Way. There are certainly other browsed creatures besides Swift Spear where Oust is totally fine. Yeah. Like I mentioned, you could also run Condemn. I wouldn't blame you for it. Besides that, we have the typical Planeswalker package, some Supreme Verdicts. And I have one Ashiok in the main deck because I've won at least one card that can deal a little bit with graveyards against other Urus. It's also nice because it's better against Stoneforge Mystic. In my last league with Sultai, I lost to this randomly in the control mirror, where they dropped it on 3. I couldn't counter it because I was tapped out for an Uro. Didn't think that they would have anything on 3 because they were Sultai. And then they drop this Ashiok, and all my fetch lands are turned off. They take my Uro value away, and yeah, even the mill is a real win condition in a control mirror, because milling 20 cards in total in a long game can really make the difference. Because you can run out of counter spells, you can run out of win conditions in those control decks. So it's just a hedge a little bit against graveyard. You could also run Soul Guide Lantern, but I think Ashiok has a little bit more value all in all, because it also is nice against Titan, sometimes against Tron, and it's pitchable to Force. I know that is an argument that always comes up and is probably overblown, but yeah, being a blue card that can be pitched is sometimes nice. I also noticed that when I run Damnation over the Supreme Verdict, while I don't think that the can't be countered nowadays comes up a lot, because there are no spirits, there are nearly no Merfolk, no Grixis Death Shadows, the ability to get rid of it with a Force did certainly come up in the past. So yeah, besides that, the rest is pretty stock. I run a huge anti-aggro package here with 3 Kor Firewalker and the nowadays occasional Elder Gargaroth for me. I like this card a little bit better than Baneslayer Angel, simply because it has this extra point of toughness, which brings it out of like Bolt plus Stomp range, or makes it harder to kill if they have like an Lightning Bolt plus Lava Dart. This 1 point can really make the difference. And unlike Baneslayer, you get immediately value out of it when it blocks or attacks. And it can not only gain life, sure, it gains 2 points less, but if you have the life, or if you have enough life to survive, you can also draw cards with it, or just make more blockers. So, and the fact that it has Vigilance allows you more easily to attack against aggro, where you might fear with Baneslayer, okay, if I attack now, I gain 5 life, but I lose my blocker, and they might attack back for more damage and kill me. So having Vigilance there is definitely also an upside, and it has reach, so it can also can block the typical flying creatures that you might to get with Baneslayer, like the Stormwing entity, Sprite Dragon, even Inkmoth Nexus. I don't know if Infect sees play, but I know that I brought in Baneslayer against that deck too, so yeah, just this card is so overblown for the cost. If you just compare this green creature against the white creatures, it's laughable how the power creep, how far the power creep has gone. So, a fan of that. You could also see the fourth Kor Firewalker. Now, I think Firewalker is not as good against burn, or not better against burn than maybe timely reinforcements, simply because you always will fear when they attack with a creature that they might have Skullcrack, and when you block the Firewalker dies, then again you still gain a life from the Skullcrack, and you block their 2/2, probably dead, unless it's a Swift Spear. So what I like about this again is that it's better against prowess, because their timely reinforcements was a huge letdown. You make a few 1/1s, and I already talked about that 1/1s die horribly against Gutshot and Lava Dart. And sure, then it's an even trade, kind of, but since those cards usually pump their whole team, it kind of feels like timely has so much less impact than Firewalker that just negates a Lava Dart, for example, because you gain the life immediately back. It deals 1. You can nearly always block against prowess. They have no Skullcracks. Crash through is the only way for them to get really through it or fly over it in the Izzet versions. But if they don't have that, Firewalker seems pretty nice. Also because unlike Weather the Storm, it can attack, so it's also a win condition in those matchups. And I think I even brought it in against Ponza, because all of their threats are red, and they have a very hard time dealing with a Firewalker. None of their removal hits it. Every spell they cast gains us alive. Bloodbraid Elf is partly red. Season Pyro, the tokens, the Clothes, Chandra, you can attack past all their creatures but Arbor Elf and Scavenging Ooze and pressure their Planeswalkers. So while double white is probably challenging for this deck because no Astrolabe, I think that it's more powerful, but honestly I want to test it over timely here today and see how it feels. I have seen a list with 4 copies. I decided to exchange the 4th copy with the Gargaroth just to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, that's mostly the deck. You know Aether Gust by now, Anti-Tron Hate, Well of Summer, it's non-explanatory. 1 Celestial Purge, more Graveyard Hate, more Titan Hate. I run the 4th Aether Gust in the main deck. That is maybe the last thing I want to talk about. I also mentioned it in my last Sultai video. Nearly every second matchup has red or green in it. Green is so pushed right now, or even red, for that matter, that besides a blue-white mirror, you will always find a target, and if it's only an Uro you want to Yu-Gi-Oh that you want to target, maybe even a Wilderness Reclamation sometimes. So against a Sultai control deck, this will also have some targets. It's rarely dead, really rarely nowadays. I think it's only blue-white mirrors where it doesn't do anything, and okay, so be it. I want to hedge today against prowess and stuff like that, and see how the rest of the deck feels against grindy matchups. So that's the explanatory and the deck tech, kind of, if you will. Let's jump into some action and see how it will perform.
Push the goddamn button! You heard what she said.
Okay, here we go for the first match. On the draw, we have shock of 3 drops, 2 Path to Exiles, no counterspell yet, but 2 land drops already, so let's see if Path to Exile has text here. If it's a tight match, the Ashiok can certainly surprise them. I think that would be one of the best case scenarios if I draw land into Mana League maybe, and they don't have a Cavern of Souls, then it feels good. But it's like we play a matchup where Ashiok doesn't have text. Play a basic mountain matchup. Now let's see if my aggro edge will work out. Because we have a lot of life gain and interaction in our 75. Of course, that's no guarantee. You have to draw your cards, but I'm not that afraid of a Goblin Guide deck. I have really more respect for the prowess decks. I think they are better overall just because they can play a more grindier game with Bedlam Raveler and light up the stage, but are also more explosive if you don't have the interaction. I guess the only downside is that if they run out of gas or go into top deck mode, unlike Burn, they will usually not draw 3 damage as consistently because they have a lot of enablers like Gutshot and Lava Dart, and yeah, those are only 1 to 2 damage, not 3 damage. So yeah, I think we have to fetch shock here. Unfortunately, I have to pass the exile, and I need the mana for Uro and stuff. So only hope that we draw an island or something. Was hoping that the Goblin Guide can maybe fetch us a land, but he is not playing on our side. Taking these extra 2 points is dangerous, but yeah, it's already dangerous since we are on the draw. Okay, didn't play anything, so it's probably a Boros Charm here. We did draw another land, which is perfect. Let's use that to fetch probably a Breeding Pool tap because I want to play the Uro as soon as possible. So Uro will be our win condition. But on the downside, I was hoping that they play more creatures here instead of having a handful of burn spells. Maybe they just have Searing Blazes, that would be fine. I wonder who will win if Burn plays against Prowess. Like, I think that Searing Blaze is a nice card in those matchups, but you have just a few spells, the creatures are already out of the 3 toughness range, and then you don't get a lot of value out of it. Sure, it deals 3 to the dome, but that's about it. I guess Eidolon of the red Eidolon is pretty strong against Prowess if Burn is on the play and can drop it on turn 2. Then they have to have a Lightning Bolt to deal with that kind of efficiently, because if they use Lava Dart, they already take 4 damage for that, so the Prowess decks sometimes feel very Storm-like, so that's why Weather the Storm can be nice. Maybe that is also a consideration here since I play green. I think there's a white enchantment actually. Deepening something, which is a white Eidolon for 1, I think. opponent is not doing anything. Deafening Silence, that is the name. Each player can't cast more than one non-creature spell each turn for a single white mana. I guess that doesn't stop them from dropping multiple creatures in a turn, but at least it stops them from pumping the team. Huge. So, right, if they only have burn spells in hand, then we will die, because have any counter spells here. Let's play a creature. No, he doesn't. So we have to drop the Uro and hope they don't have Skullcrack or something. At least this way we are back over 12. As much as I like Teferi to force them to play in their turn, I don't think we have the luxury here. So now I can only hope they don't have a Skullcrack. Then we go back to 14. Okay. I guess if they can dump their hand here and draw an extra burn spell, then we could be dead. Have multiple Boros Charms, we could be dead. Yep. Now we are back at the stage. Okay. It isn't the worst because they have redraws. Go to 3, then we are dead. Well, at least we could play 2 spells this game. Feels nice. Waiting 5 minutes for that. Okay, Ashiok out. We want Condemn. We want Aether Gust. We want Purge, and we want Firewalkers. Don't want all of this nonsense here. So 2 more cards. All the sheep efficient stuff. Put it in the deck. So the next best card is probably Cryptic Command. We have more counter spells here. We have less ways to deal with an Eidolon without taking damage, but I think this looks pretty lean and efficient. If we don't flood out, or I should bring in the Gargaroth actually, maybe on the play. Oh well. Seems fine. So we play the Hallowed Fountain on 1 tapped, then we have Condemn and Opt on 2. Or Condemn and Spell Snare. We have at least white-blue. Then I hope we draw another white source and some Kor Firewalkers shortly after. If in the first game they drop a creature there, second one, and we can make use of the path somewhere, I think that could have been good. I would feel terrible if we lose that after putting so much anti-aggro hate in our deck. Not gonna force this, I think. What I hope for the future is that Bant gets actually a Triumph land. I think that would be great. Having a land that makes all 3 colors as a one-off is pretty valuable, all in all. Get my 3 life here, since they don't have Skullcrack open. Now we still need fetch land or something. Any white source? Draw a land here. But we still have some more life gain and interaction open. Yes. Still have Skullcrack open here. Hope we hit the land drop here. Okay. Now we could flashback the Uro anytime soon. Feels good. We are still at 16, so not dead yet. That was a long wait for Boros Charm. Rest in peace. Do we care about that? Not really. Have your rest in peace. Don't want to waste a force for that when we still have Firewalkers in the deck. I think I don't want a breeding pool here. Yeah, that's better. Because that can get another white source. By Uro. Alright, now we just have to find the Firewalkers. But they are nearly in top deck mode, so the creatures don't matter a lot anymore unless they have Eidolon. We have that covered. Let's actually force that. I don't want them to redraw a Boros Charm. And sometimes they run this uncounterable red spell, Exquisite Firecraft. You can still get that with Aether Gust. Screw the critics is fine. I take. Guess we drop block here. Okay. Now I feel bad because he could have get some snap value. Now we flood out. Don't have a Jace to shuffle back lands or something like that, so... Well, at least we know that they have only Rest in Peace and 1 Unknown in hand. They can't play in our end step anymore. We have the creature covered mostly. So, yeah. I'm really only looking forward to Firewalkers. Or to stall it out till the Snapcaster goes the distance, maybe. Come on, deck. Stop giving me lands. Okay. Mana Lake is also not the best. Only when they try to really go all in one turn. Well, next turn we get some Teferi value in bouncing the wall. Last time I didn't want to do that. Alright. Well, we would have flooded out. Yep, he did too. Oh, I don't care. We want the Gargaroth. Over what? We know that they bring in Rest in Peace. I still like the Urus though, simply because they gain 3. Maybe only one Teferi on the draw. On the play, it's a little bit better to also counter like a Rift Bolt, but on the draw it can be too clunky. Mostly the only value is that they can't play in our end step, but I want to get into a position where they don't have a lot of spells going on, or we have some Firewalkers. Yeah, we have removal, we have a wall, we have all the mana, I guess, and an Uro, so let's try this. Probably only better if we would have had an Condemn. Find another Uro. So we have a lot of Uros going on. Might be too slow if they have a heavy creature start this time. Nope, they don't have that. Alright. So double Rift Bolts. We are at a virtual 10. Don't have time for Field of Ruin. This has to be a breeding pool or a forest. Maybe I actually don't have time for Mystic Sanctuary because I need a double green here. But we have all the stuff in hand. Just getting there. Gosh, I press F2 or something here. Pressing OK on these suspend triggers. You have to hit the OK button all the time. Could be dead here. 7. Right. We hold up Skull Crack, so won't drop the Uro yet. If we don't do it now, when will we? Yeah, well, I have to wait a little bit longer. They have double Boros Charm again and hit a 1 mana burn spell. And they get us. So I don't want to let that resolve. Send GO. And have your Lightning Helix back. Sit on bottom, doesn't want it. Alright. Don't whine if you draw a land now. Like, okay. Want you to draw this. No, it's risky, but we have to get the land eventually, I guess. And it can't be a forest here, which is unfortunate. Field of Ruins are not doing us any good here right now. Really love a force. Path to Exile. On bottom, alright. So I'm pretty sure he has a Skullcrack here, because he's permanently holding up these 2 mana. Okay. Do I grab a blue source now? I don't think so. These moves are very risky. 2, 3. Don't think he has lethal here. Wow. Okay, just faked out all the time. But I couldn't know that, so here we go. Now he has to do something. Okay, we have the Path to Exile at least. Yeah, Wall of Omens is putting in work here. Can't underestimate that. So he had an exquisite Firecraft, right? Yeah, then we flash back the Uro, I mean, who cares? Again, don't blame us for drawing the lands if you bottom the Lightning Helix. Well, never drew the Kor Firewalkers, but Wall of Omens was nice. But the mana with the Field of Ruins was Arcward, notably, so might be too sad, but we can't run Kor Firewalkers. What is another substitute that might be better than Timely Reinforcements? Maybe Circle of Protection? Is that crazy? Like, if you don't run Stoneforge with swords, tokens are not that important, I guess. Yeah, maybe Circle of Protection Red could be an idea. But you constantly have to put mana into it to work. So I don't know if that is particularly what I want. Anyways, let's go to the next match. Match 2. Mana looks awkward again, but in theory, we have at least Uro and Time Raveler. But we are on the draw, and I'm not very convinced by this opening hand, to be honest. Let's try and get something better. Yep, and then you instantly have to mulligan again and keep an even worse hand. That's why I hate taking mulligans in general. Always punishes me. Scalding Tarn. Anything. Steam Bands, okay. Is this a blue-red deck? Yeah, probably. Okay. Okay, so we have an Izzet browse deck here. Already got the dragon down, we need a path now. Path to Exile, well, don't draw that. So we have this great mana leak here. Now I wish we had the Teferi from the opening hand, at least. Down here. Okay. We set them on a counter spell here. I don't think so. So I think bouncing that has some value. They maybe have an opt or something like that. Sure, they can kill it. They can kill the Teferi, but at least it replaces itself and it can draw us into Path to Exile or something. Go away, Sprite Dragon. Well, if they would have had an opt, I guess they would have casted it. They can recast the dragon. Lava Dart, sure. Stormwing, it's even worse. Where are my Path to Exiles? Don't help, Snap. Don't help. Maybe Supreme Verdict helps. Do we have to shock this in? To mana leak the Sprite Dragon at least. Maybe yes. So that we don't die horribly. Like Mystic Sanctuary, but there's nothing there. On the bright side, we have Uro soon, so... Yep, okay. Lava Dart. Take 3. Okay. Go to 9. Let's give me some breathing room for the Uro here. Now we have a Path to Exile with Snapcaster Mage, which can also be good. So the question, I guess, is now if they can burn us out here. We are at a virtual 8. So let's see. Okay, that's fair. I guess this is a matchup where Supreme Verdict actually has text compared to Damnation because sometimes they run like spell pierces or stuff like that. So now I think with Uro on the battlefield and Snap Path, I have this. But let's not be too happy too soon. Yeah, Uro's still a beast. It's totally worth it to splash green simply for him. Like, he has gained us now 6 life. He puts the clock in and he wins this game 1. Insane. I didn't submit anything. What are you talking, MTGO? Don't scare me. Condemn, definitely. I think even Celestial Purge. It can't deal with the bird, but with the Sprite Dragons and Swift Spears and stuff like that. Supreme Verdict was nice here. Not convinced by the Uro. I like the Gargaroth though. How much do we want the Firewalkers? Maybe 2? Not a fan of Jace here. He dies too quickly. I think the Time Ravelers are too cute. One opt is fine. I still think Wall of Omens is okay. We need the removal. We need all the removals. Archmage Charm is too ambitious, I think. I also don't like Cryptic here. So we don't need triple blue anymore that early. Only for Sanctuary. The mana is still pretty ambitious. Do we need Hero of Dominaria? Feels like if we survive the early turns, can work towards That's the Urus, but that might be wrong. Maybe I want actually one Jace and one less Force. How does this look? We have just a few finishers here, like 3. Uro is maybe finisher number 4 to 6, just in case. And is better in the mid game, so do we actually need the Jace? Like, do we have enough tools to reach, to not flood out and pressure them later on? Because they are blue-red. What can they bring in against Uro? Surgical Extraction, relics, stuff like that, but I don't know if they do that. If they have hate against Uro, we still have... What do we have then? Only the Gargaroth. Yeah, so I think I can make an argument that the Jace is maybe too bad, and some of these other cards here are better. But I try this. I would bring in the 3rd Firewalker here, but since they are running flying creatures, I think 2 are enough. This is not keepable at all. Okay. Okay. If we pitch this Field of Ruin, we have pretty good mana. We have double green, we have double white. We have a path, we have a Firewalker, so if I value the path for the flying creatures and use the Firewalker exactly against this girl, then maybe we can pull it off. Spell Snare is interesting. Do we want to shock this in now? Maybe not. Maybe let's go with a Flooded Strand, because we already have the basic planes here. We don't need... I value the Misty more than the Strand, so let's play the Strand. If they play a Sprite Dragon now, I think I actually fetch Shock and then play the Firewalker with a Temple Garden. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's pause a little bit, give them something to think about. Clear blockers, and they don't pump. Okay. Okay. Yeah, then let's drop this Kor Firewalker. Then let's drop the Kor Firewalker. Grab the green source. Maybe I should have gotten the Misty actually. I had something in my mind, now I can't explain it anymore. Anyways, let's drop this. Let's see how good it will be. We have one path to exile at least against the Sprite Dragon or Stormwing. They can't drop both creatures here. We have a snare against future Sprite Dragons if they don't have that. Then we work towards Mystic Sanctuary for the path. First Lightning, yep. Can you say always yes? Always yes, always yield. Please always give me 1 life. So this only costs us 1. Let's see if they have a crash through or something. Okay, here comes the Stormwing. So far, our hand lines up nicely. And I think I will pass them in my turn, simply because I don't want to run into a Spell Pierce. That makes sense. I wonder how many of those Stormwings they will have. But I don't think they will kill us that quickly, and soon we will have Mystic Sanctuary again, hopefully. Or draw another path, or Condemn, or Oust, or whatever. Surgical on path. That is interesting. But I think we have enough removal that I don't care. Like, we still have Aether Gust, we still have Celestial Purge, we have Condemn, Oust. So let's hope that they won't get us with Stormwings. Blood Moon. That we have to force. Can pay for Spell Pierce. Thank you. Grab a basic island. Of course, now their Sprite Dragons become better. But this Firewalker has already gained us 10 life or something like that. 3 life here. It blocked 2 times the Swift Spear, so pretty darn good. Fetch out the breeding pool here. Maybe we draw the Gargaroth now. But now our gas is gone, so it's our top decks against their top decks. They have the redraws here. So everything would be even. This would be gas, I guess. Okay, probably more cheap spells in hand. They can't deal with this Firewalker. Maybe we can drop a second one here. Our future. Snapcaster. Do we have to hold up force here? I think it's not worth it to shock that in. Like, maybe they have more Blood Moons or something like that. Be annoying. We should have fetched out a basic forest for that reason. Have a Stormwing here. Okay. Aether Gust is nice. Do we want to put pressure on them and Aether Gust the Swift Spear here? No, I don't think so. Let's keep that for now. Because it can deal with Blood Moon or Sprite Dragon sometime at least. Okay. Also draw a lot of lands. Okay, a Jace. It's actually, yes, Surgical. Yeah, sure. I think we actually plus here first. If they have a bolt, I don't want the Jace to die immediately. This is now the win condition. Now they need like a lava dart into bolt. And have the mountain. That's probably game over now. Yeah, the Firewalker definitely won this game. Not even close. Wow. It was a pretty convincing game against Prowess. Don't know what he can even draw anymore. How does he get out of this? He needs several creatures because we have the Aether Gust. Even the Stormwing isn't lethal directly because we can bounce it like at least 2 times. Grab more basics here against Blood Moon. Dovin's Veto is also nice. Just have to shift the turn back here. I don't have to attack. Let's not risk anything. As long as we have the Jace, we draw 2 cards per turn and get more card selection, so support the rest. Any spell he plays gains us back alive, so feel free to concede at any point. We have so much resources to work with. I think that it's wrong to board in Surgical. Maybe you really need it against Uro, but I don't know. Feels like Relic on average is better. Unless because they run Raveler. Sure. The best thing about blue-white is that you keep so much time winning, usually. You don't win in one turn. You can just enjoy winning for 15 turns or something like that. The opponents don't concede, so... I also ruin his scry now. How did he scry? Top, bottom. Not too bad. Have to shuffle. It's also nice with Oust. Don't need a third island, because there are no Archmage Charms or Cryptics here in our deck. This is probably game over now. Usually the Teferi prompts the concede instead of the Jace, which is always interesting, bubbling to me, but... yeah. Doesn't mind the torture, alright. Not like we will time out here and we still have game 1, so... okay, that's probably too much Aether Gusts, but can you have too much actually? I don't know. Can have it back. Yeah, now he concedes. Alright. Yeah, pretty convincing so far. Let's go to match 3. Okay, match 3, here we go. Let's continue with our roll. Archmage Charm and Supreme Verdict and Path to Exile look awkward here with basic forest, basic lanes. Where are my astrolapes? We keep that. We probably need a third land drop anyways, and then we can at least play Uro. We have Mana Leak on the play, so I hate mulligans. Let's be greedy. Hopefully we don't draw Wall of Omens now, because then I will think could have been an Ice-fang or even a Shark Typhoon. Chivalry. The Storm? Okay, Storm. There. Then the white cards don't matter that much. Okay, the Teferi can matter, but we need another mana source. Ideally, we draw a fetch land now and get a Hallowed Fountain. That would be the dream. Then they try and play a Stormlord now. We Mana Leak, we draw fetch land, play out Teferi, minus, draw another land, a blue source or something, and then we have Archmage Charm for the following turn. They need a very, very good hand to go off on 3 mana. But it's doable, so it's not risk-free. Because we don't have Force, but... yeah. Anyways, we need a land drop, whatever happens. 52 cards in the deck. We have 23 lands left over. Let's run a quick calc. Let's run the math. 23 lands divided by 52. We have a 44% chance to draw a land. That's above average. No, it's not. 50-50 yet. Manamorphose. I think they are Storm, right? So not gonna Mana Leak that. Want to keep Mana Leak for more important stuff here. Okay. Oh, come on. Come on. No. I wished for a fetch land deck, not for a not castable Path to Exile. Thing is, the mana doesn't matter if you don't draw the third land drop, so... 23 divided by 51. Now we have a 55% chance. Now it's like we are on the draw. Guess they miss land drops as well, which is scary because this means their hand is full of storm stuff. And now we jam the mana leak on whatever they put on the stack. Supreme Verdict is not without value. Sometimes they run a main deck, empty the warrants, so it's not entirely dead. Stop trying to kill me. No! That's not what I wanted to see. Come on, land. Ah, deck. With 25 lands in the deck, you expect the third land drop with 10 cards deep. That sucks. I had this about this game. 53 divided by 50. Now we have 56% chance to draw the next land drop. We slowly creep to 50%. Come on, play a little bit faster, please. Okay, gifts ungiven here. No Stormlord. Aha. Well, can't counter anything anyways. Let's jam the Uro. Invite them to kill us. Please don't remand me. Uro into fetch land, please. Okay. I don't expect us to win this game anymore. I really needed this third land drop earlier. Maybe they don't try to go off because they expect us to have Force of Negation or something. I don't know. I think they would have played the Stormlord last turn if they had one. And they played the Steam Winds tapped, so that's weird. All around a little bit weird. Maybe they will try to go off the hard way. Now I kind of want to wait and just shock that in. Maybe we can draw a bit deeper here with the Archmage Charm and hit our land drops this way. Behind one land drop, maybe two land drops. This mana situation sucks now. Okay. These islands from the new edition, is that Lorwyn? I can't really see the edition mark on this island. I think it's Lorwyn, right? I saw this island before. Definitely interesting. It's from a basic set. Wants to repeal the Stormlord. That's rude. Did not attempt to go off last turn. So what is he missing? Let's try it. Seems like this is important to him. I don't know if it's a bait or something. Really don't know. He might totally get blown out, but I want to deny him the draw here. I think at this point he can probably go off naturally. But he can't go off here, so it seems also like he's missing Gifts Ungiven by the play patterns he has shown so far. Well, we made up for our land drops, but our hand is not particularly good here. I mean, we had 3 counter spells, so I can't really complain. 6 lands, 6 cards. I think he can go off here. But we don't care about the Empty the Warrens, so at least we have that going for us. Splice that on there. He has all the mana in the world now. Yeah. 7. So Past in Flames, yep. So I press F6, let him kill us. Can make 4 blue mana here, so he gets at least 3 redraws. But it seems like he doesn't have a Stormlord, so don't know if he can muster enough Storm count to kill us. Maybe he just goes for an Empty the Warrens, I don't know. Yep. Maybe he has a Remand and just double kills us. Okay, now he hit the Goblin. Another Mana Morphos. Yeah, if he has a Remand, yeah, he has it. Okay. And was just too weak. Did draw the lands too late. All of these cards are actually nice. Not that much of a fan. These Planeswalkers. Don't do Wall of Omens probably. Uro is win condition enough. Fan of Ashiok here. Can attack his graveyard and stops Gifts Ungiven, I think. Teferi seems more important. We need answers against Empty the Warrens. We need all the counter spells. Aether Gust can answer any red spell and Aria of Flames, so maybe we don't need the Celestial Purge actually. Can hedge a little bit on the graveyard, but I don't want more than one piece. Yeah, let's try it like this, because Force can exile the Past in Flames. Yeah, this seems like a fine hand. Force is nice. We have Whale of Summer, which can also counter Gifts Ungiven. Probably have to fetch an Temple Garden. We can wait on the fetch maybe a little bit. Can have Mystical Dispute and stuff. Yeah, we need definitely double white sooner than double green. Uro is nice, but doesn't matter if we get to it early on. It's more like a late game play. Well, let's get rid of this now. Gives him the red source. Maybe he was just waiting for it, but it's always dangerous. Giving them the resources there. So if they untap with Baral, this makes them their remans better and stuff like that. That smells like an goblin attempt. So how about we don't do that? Okay, they're missing land drops. We have Force, Aether Gust, Whale of Summer here. Okay. Gets 3 red here. Storm count is not that high. Let's risk it. Let's see what happens. Pause that here. Can play another ritual. Very low on resources, like it's back on top. Okay. So he had the dam emptied the warrants after all. Feels like I played into that. I should have just gotten rid of the first ritual then, but when we have to count every single damn ritual, that's not that easy to do. So now we need Supreme Verdict. Oh, we are dead. Of course we don't draw that then. This feels bad again. Damn it! If I answer the first ritual, we can prevent that. Then we have to answer the next ritual and the next ritual, and doing this all the time, and eventually he can just do it with simple cantrips. Like, it's always tough to deal with it. Couldn't he do that in this first game? That's so annoying. Okay. So probably lost this game here. Yeah, if they have Baral plus Goblin and Empty. Part here. Also because I gave them the red source with the path to exile in the beginning. If I just don't do that, maybe that was also the major mistake actually, using the path to exile too early. Now we go to 3. I think the path was the deciding factor. It was the punishment here. Yeah. Now at least we can cycle Whale of Summer here and hope to hit Supreme Verdict in the top cards. Nope. That ain't it. That ain't it. GG's. Got punished for the path to exile. Let's go to match 4. Okay, match 4. After misplaying the Storm match. Okay. Like, yeah, I passed the Baral. That was the first mistake, and then I knew that he was on the Goblin plan because he played this ritual the turn before, which means that if he puts the Goblin on the stack, it was kind of foreseeable that he will follow that up with an with a ritual probably, and then he has the mana for the for the Empty the Warrens, so I probably should have just countered the Goblin then, in this case. So I made two mistakes, and the second mistake, was only possible to do the first one, of course, but I think I had a pretty good shot in this second game. Well, now our opponent has double discard. I was hoping that I can at least protect Supreme Verdict and Snapcaster Mage. I guess if he picks Path here, it's not that horrible because we still have Snap. If he picks the Verdict, we still have Snap Path. We draw another blue source, we get Sanctuary Path, so we still have some play in this game. But we are slowed down if they can't go with the Gurmag or Death Shadow here, so I guess that's fine. This is tricky now. If I drop the wall now, we have a chance in getting deeper into the deck and drawing more land drops and stuff. But that stops us from playing Snap Path next turn if we don't draw the land. Then again, we still have Supreme Verdict, so I like taking my chances here because when this Sanctuary can come into play untapped, I think that's even greater for us. And this stalls also a little bit unless they have Fatal Push and stuff. They have Push, Dismember, worse. Was this again the game deciding mistake? That's so brutal. Can't make a single mistake with control decks. Now we probably don't draw the land drop. Really need a fetch land here for Temple Garden, I think. Okay, that is accomplished. I think I actually don't Snapcaster here. Might be greedy, but we can go Temple Garden. Ah, that was a mistake, right? With Temple Garden, I can't play this untapped anymore. Yeah, okay. Okay. That was the blunder in the beginning, which means he should have taken, not played Wall of Omens on 2 again. This was the mistake. Mystic Sanctuary doesn't come untapped here, so it was the mistake. So he will have a Stubborn Denial in hand, pretty sure of that. No, he doesn't. Okay. Interesting. Gurmag Angler now? Or he just has a second Death Shadow and doesn't care? Okay. Come on, Teferi, where are you? I need you now. Well, at least this allows us Mystic Sanctuary in the following turn. Fetch a Breeding Pool here, then we have all the colors we need. Yeah, come on. Hope he doesn't have Snap Thoughtseize here. Be annoying. Shouldn't call the shots, probably. Like that. Oh, of course I need to blue mana here. Want to play the Sanctuary out yet. I want that for the Supreme Verdict. So if he doesn't do something quickly, the Uro will run away here with the game, like always. Comes the Gurmag. I think I'm actually greedy. Because Uro outsizes the Gurmag if he doesn't have a push for it. Then the Uro is better here, and like we still have Supreme Verdict. Now we also have a Snap. Given that we have the Snap, I should have probably played this now for an opt. Can see that either way. Okay. Fatal Push doesn't work yet. Thoughtseize, okay. Don't want to see that. Now, that doesn't accomplish anything here. He has to block now. Blocks with the Snap here. Don't care if he takes for 5 back, so whatever. Chosen Uro want to keep. They want to keep this one. Just played that too in the past. Can remember that. Okay. Nice. Well then, show me your Death Shadow or die. I need Death Shadow double Stubborn Denial or something. Don't see him winning another way. Alright. This is a matchup where Supreme Verdict is definitely nice. I don't want the Ashioks here, but I like Veil of Summer. The Gargaroth can be nice. Gets only outsized by Death Shadow, but it's hard to kill for him, and we can go wide with it. Celestial Purge. Do we not want actually? The forces are too bad. The wall is too cute. Well, the wall stops at least Snapcaster Mage, and they can get annoying. It cycles, so probably Cryptic, because running into Stubborn Denial is awkward. At least with Mana Leak you can circumvent the Stubborn Denial, and it's better in the early game. Of course, it's the worst top deck actually. Aether Gust. This is one of the matchups where Aether Gust doesn't have text, right? So That's so rare that I nearly forgot that I have it in my deck here. I guess Lantern can actually cycle and is a little bit better. The Cryptic, sure, bouncing a Gurmag can be nice, but... Or maybe that is reason enough to keep one Cryptic in and without a mana leak. Ashiok doesn't have enough impact here, I think. Sure, they run a lot of fetch lands, and Ashiok stops the fetch lands, and it makes it harder to resolve Gurmag. But after sideboard, they have Mystical Disputes, and that alongside Stubborn Denial makes it hard to resolve that. It doesn't have any impact after the creatures hit the battlefield, so I think on average it's too weak. Not a matchup where I want the Ashiok, I think. I think even if I would have Rest in Peace in my sideboard, I wouldn't run it simply because Mystic Sanctuary is so great in putting Path back on top. Now this hand is too weak. But it's good against discard because it is weak. And again, I think we can draw a better 6. This is somewhat better. Too bad that we are on the draw, so we can't catch the first discard here. I think Jace is actually the weakest card because it's too hard to resolve. Those early turns I wanted more like on turn 7 or something. All these other cards are better. Snap is redundancy for these two spells. Teferi is one of the best cards here because it stops all the counters like always. That is the key. Oh yeah, we keep. And of course we need the land drops when the Sanctuary is awkward. So let's hope they don't open up with this card here, and that we can get them with Whale of Summer. Please use a Sword Scour or something. Okay, Spell Bomb is fine. Makes the snap worse, but that's fine. Now they can have discard plus Stubborn Denial for the Whale, but at least then we got a Whale out, Stub out, so. And I still hope to draw a land drop here. Nope. No land drop yet. Please don't be a repeated Storm Game 1. Can't put more than 25 lands in our deck. There are decks without cantrips that run less lands and hit their third land drop more consistently. So. Okay. Smells like a Gurmag. Okay, or yeah. Or it's also a thing. Okay, then we start pathing in their upkeep. We have to fetch shock quite some time, but I think that's fine. Death Shadow is not big enough yet for Stubborn Denial to be a hard cast, so also to fetch islands for this Archmage Charm. Okay. Shadow is gone. Yeah, I think they have at least Stubborn Denials in hand. Or Mystical Disputes even. So I don't want to drop the Teferi yet. We just draw go here. Might even have to use the path on my Snapcaster Mage. They cracked the spell bomb here, but they didn't. Oh. I was already trying to hit that Whale of Summer. Let's draw 2. my land drops. Okay, stop number 1. Perfect. Nice Teferi plus Veil of Summer turn. That's what you live for when you play Bant. Take it back. Alright. Let's go. Supreme Verdict at the ready. Of course, instant speed. Still doesn't crack the spell bomb. Please drop more creatures into play. Don't K-command me here. No play. Great. And go. He cracks the spell bomb. I guess I go for Snap Path, but he doesn't. Now we forced the spell bomb. Maybe I should have forced it before using the Supreme Verdict. Whatever. Don't think we lose this. Wow. Has he given up here? Why don't you use the spell bomb if you play it in the first place? So if he doesn't play anything into the Verdict, we just bound the wall in a few turns. If he does, well, then we Verdict. Okay, that makes sense. You should really crack this spell bomb now. Okay. I think he has given up. Then he can just concede. Like, why do you torture yourself here? Probably tilted by the Whale of Summer. Okay, no need yet to do anything here. Let's get rid of the Death Shadow in case he has an Unearth or something. Maybe Lurus, I don't know what they are running nowadays. Go on, use your Gurmax. Wow, now finally he cracks it. Now he decides it's time. After all that is going around here, or going on here. Well, I think Gurmak can be hardcasted anyways now, so yep. Well then. Alright. So, let's go for the final match. Alright, the final round. We are on the play. We have nothing but Uro and Archmage Charm. Feels great. Let's go. That's why we are here for the Uros and Archmage Charms. Let this be a control mirror, and then we only draw counter spells. How about that? Okay, let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, another Goblin Guide matchup. One Wall of Omens, I need you. Dovin's Veto. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. Still need cards on the graveyard for this Uro. Seal of Fire. Go away. Probably means he plays this new Incinerator. Else this card doesn't make sense. Bolt, alright. Being Pool. We path to Exile. Wow. What is up with MTGO? In one game, you don't draw any third land drops. Now we have drawn 7 lands in 3 turns. That is not even doable in paper, I think. Alright. Screw this. Can only hope that we draw into removals the Uro, that the Uro will carry us here yet again. Like always. It is always the Uro that has to carry, right? So we go to 15, we go to 13, then let's see if they have this Incinerator or not. We need 3 more spells in the graveyard. No, they have an Eidolon. Spell Snare, hey hey. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? So if we opt and fetch here, then we have 2, 3, 4 cards in the graveyard. That is 1 too few. If I just had something else, if I just put the fetch land into play instead of this breeding pool, could have used the Spell Snare on the Eidolon. We just play Uro now and win. Why didn't I see that coming? Why didn't I play around against an Eidolon here? I mean, I didn't know about the Spell Snare, but yeah, we didn't have the Spell Snare, of course. It doesn't make sense what I'm talking. So we have to take the Goblin Guide to prevent the Eidolon from attacking. Then we go to 11. Then we play the Uro, go to 9. If they have 3 bolts in hand, we die. Feels about right. We'll have to cast the Opt, so that Eidolon kills us. If I don't find a path to exile now, we are more than dead. Screw this Eidolon. Probably are still dead. This Eidolon deals 4 now. So if we play the Uru first, we go to 4 and are dead with the next spell. So we have to path here. Then we can't put the path back on top. I mean, we can't cast it because the mana here is awkward. Well, we die against 2 land hand with against burn. Okay. Should go against players, right? No? Oh, okay. It deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker. Alright. That means we still have a chance here. So we are dead against 2 burn spells anyways. With the Breeding Pool, I put myself dead against the Boros Charm. But at least then we can mana leak the second burn spell. They only have 2, so let's go. Why do we die there? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, the damage is marked, yes, but do they trample over then? Damage is marked? Am I missing something? Okay, I learned something new. Didn't knew that. Thought trample only checks really the toughness of a creature, not the damage that is marked from there. Okay. Weird. Didn't knew that. Guess I learned something new after 8-10 years, but I know. Okay. Same plan as the last time. Go Wake Lunk. I boarded out too much. Didn't board anything in here. I think I kept in one Teferi, right? But the small one. Oh, I put in the Gargaroth here, exactly. Okay. The deck leaves me hanging now. Several times in a row. I think we can hit better. Okay. Firewalker we can play too. Now the scariest thing is that the 6/6 is pretty good against the Firewalker. Especially hard with the Skullcrack, so time we can answer this damn incinerator at least. We go for the Firewalker and use Field of Ruin here. Or do we go for an Uro? I think I want my life gain now. Maybe we hit a fetch land. Go back to 19 here. No, we don't hit a fetch land, of course. Yeah. I still need any fetch land or my basic planes, then we can drop the Firewalker. Or they go into top deck mode. Haste creatures coming at us again. Wall of Omens, you are not that great right now. I mean, it's still okay, but... Come on, hit the land drop. Finally, okay. This can be Hallowed Fountain, I guess. Only if we really need it. Virtual 12. Maybe that's not true. We can use Field of Ruin and Kor Firewalker in one turn. We attack the white source. They can't use Boros Charm right now. And I think I want to path to mana leak that without taking damage. So let's fetch actually a basic island here. Go away, Eidolon. Close the graveyard for the Uro too, but we still need another blue source in this case. Sometimes the mana simply doesn't check out. Okay, didn't even try to trade with the seal. It's a nice draw. Now next turn we can drop the Uro. We still have a path up if something goes wrong. We are at 9, we have a Firewalker. So this feels like a good game. But yeah, this is the third red deck we are playing in this league, so I can already say that Wall of Omens was nice. This game, I don't know if Firewalker would have been better than Timely, of course, but it felt very, very strong against Prowess. This one game where it gained like 20 life or something. Where Timely wouldn't have done the job, I think. Maybe the fourth island in the mana base is actually too greedy and you want the 9th fetch land to hit your colors more consistently. Or more, maybe even play filter land. I would love to run a Triumph in here, but there is none. These colors. It's only there for Sultai. Look at this beautiful curve. 2 drops galore. More 2 drops than anything else. Force can be a free spell, so might as well not be there, but yeah. most we have to pay 3 mana for spells. Only the Gargaroth is here for funsies. For that random knockout top deck. I mean, in game 1, even if we mana leak the bolt, there's no guarantee that they don't have another burn spell, and then they will always trample over in this case, so I guess it didn't really matter then. Yeah. Need the second white source again, but we can find that. We have the Firewalker. I see us losing here. I see that we can lose here. They have a very fast creature start and we can't keep up the white sources, then they get us. Or if they have that Skullcrack with this. Okay, now we get the white source anyways. Or at least a removal spell here, so this has still to be a Hallowed Fountain, so I will not use the path yet. Don't want them to ramp ahead, and if I shock here, this kind of defeats the purpose on running the path, so I think I tank the damage for this turn. Because if I fetch the basic planes out now, we can't grab it with the Field of Ruin, so kind of forced to leave that in the deck for now. But they are missing land drops, so that also means that Field of Ruin doesn't have a target, but yeah, let's see. It's like I want to pitch Archmage Charm here for the next spell. Sucks also to ramp them then with a path, but I think enough is enough. Snap path seems nice. Have an Eidolon or something. Next dual land they play will enable the Firewalker. Might be greedy here actually and try to path my own snap. Next level games. This is fine. I don't want to let them drop an Incinerator here, so I keep the mana leak a little bit longer open. We are still at 10. We have weakened now every burn spell by at least 1 point. So, alright. Always yes. Always yield. To 8. To 9. Looks like opt is better than a random draw. Don't want to attack here, because then we open ourselves up for a haste creature. Don't want that. Let's try and find an Uro or more Firewalkers. Not more land drops. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Drop that next turn. Let's not take extra damage here when we don't have to. So you have one more turn. Then the Elder Boy comes. And it will come for you. Yeah, still gain the life. To 9. Well then, kill us. Have 3 mana, we have 9 life. The burn spells are a little bit weaker. Okay. It's probably game over then. Because our friend has Vigilance and offsets 1 more burn spell each turn. You gain 3. Boom. Back where we were. Yes, have your relic. That doesn't trigger the life gain. But yeah, I think we are at a point in the game where we can't lose anymore. Exactly. Okay. So, what did we manage to accomplish here in the end? Wow, a 4-1. Okay. Only lost to Storm because we didn't hit land drops in the first game and because I made a mistake with the path in game 2 and then I made another mistake with the Goblin Electromancer turn. We quickly change back to the deck list. But yeah, a 4-1, can't complain. I like that. The mana sometimes was quite challenging. So yeah, as I mentioned, I think we drop 1 island and put into the deck another fetch land probably, or an filter land. Any of those 2 variants. The question is, if we want a filter land, do we need Flooded Grove for Uro, or do we want Mystic Gate for Supreme Verdict and the Kor Firewalkers? And I think the Firewalkers are a little bit more crucial in the early games, so I tend to run a Mystic Gate. Maybe someone has the math for me. Not the math guy. I can calculate my land drop chance, but not that good with the mana basis. I mostly copied that from another list I found on Goldfish. The rest of the deck, well, Wall of Omens won at least 1 game against Burn. That's why I brought it in. Kor Firewalker won a game against Prowess. And the Ashiok didn't really come up in the main deck, but at least it opens up a sideboard slot, if nothing else. The Aether Gust was fine in the main deck. It also never came up, but also never hurt. Yeah, the deck feels good, actually. We hit our win conditions when we needed to. Feels like this deck hits this hits win conditions a little bit more than the Sultai deck, simply because we have Time Raveler and that draws us also into the deck, and Time Raveler by itself can also win games, so it's also like a win condition sometimes for 3 mana. So you have a little bit more gas, I guess. You have already Sweepers in the main deck that certainly came up several times. Against Death Shadow this was nice, against Prowess this was nice in one turn, in one game. And it was also relevant that it was blue and that that was uncounterable. Yeah, I have a lot of 2-mana counters here. Maybe one too much, but I don't think you necessarily need the 4th opt. One of the upsides of not running Astrolabe actually is that with opt you fill the graveyard a little bit quicker, because you actually cast a spell and it's not a permanent. So you have the Uro also quicker in the game, even without Thoughtscar or something like that. And it gives a little bit more value to Snapcaster Mage. But yeah, there were a few games where opt was really nice, like in this last burn game where we then found the Gargaroth. But else I can't remember too much situations where I was fist pumping that we had opt now in the deck. Like, I think it's correct to run this over Serum Visions. Serum Visions would help to hit land drops more consistently, even though the sorcery speed sucks with Snapcaster Mage. And the counters, of course. I am thinking, like, if we could run a few Growth Spiral, maybe, to ramp a little bit, but that's a random draw instead of at least scry ones, and it's a little bit clunkier. There are turns where you can at least squeeze in the opt, alongside maybe a Path to Exile, or alongside a 2-mana counter where it's far more awkward to squeeze an Growth Spiral in. But ramping ahead is okay. Yeah, that's something to think about. That's not something I can solve now while making the last or the final words here to this video. Maybe you have some ideas, but I think I explained everything. In practice, most of my theories went off, like the Wall of Omens did what it was supposed to do, blocking Goblin Guides and stalling a little bit while replacing itself and offering a blink or a bounce target for Teferi. And I think in none of those games Ice-fang would have made a difference besides the Death Shadow matchup. But there were also not a lot of games where, we had the basics in a timely fashion to enable Death Touch where it would have been relevant. Like, that's exactly what I mentioned. Like, we fetch the shock lands in a lot of cases. That's also why we had to counter the Blood Moon against the Prowess, against the Prowess deck in one match. Blood Moon would have really killed us if we didn't have the counter. I think it was a Force. So, yeah, but maybe since we have Force and all these 2-mana counters and Aether Gust and Celestial Purge post sideboard, only really need at least one basic island to get out of the Blood Moon. And we have a lot of islands to enable Mystic Sanctuary already with all these shock lands that we are fetching out as early as possible. So, yeah, maybe instead of the filter land, we actually go with a 9th fetch land. Maybe a Polluted Delta or a Scalding Tarn. I really need someone to tell me what the correct mana distribution is here. Like, I'm also not sure if we really need the second basic forest. I guess it's nice with Uro, but I'm not that concerned about flashbacking Uro here because we have so many win conditions anyways. We don't rely that heavily on it. I simply value his front side so much because it's main deck life gain, but there were also a lot of situations where I said, okay, Uro has to carry this again, and he certainly did carry a lot of games. Like, this card is so insanely strong, so maybe it's still correct to run at least another basic forest that you can grab with a Field of Ruin, or when they path you or something like that. So that might still be correct. Yeah, so besides the mana, everything felt pretty nice. Of course, if you don't face Tron, the rejections are worthless, but any other card came in, I think. Okay, not the Ashiok, but even brought in the Soulguide Lantern in a few games just because it can cycle for cheap. So yeah, I like the anti-aggro package here with all of these 9 cards plus all the main deck cards. We have beaten Burn 2-time, we have beaten Prowess. And the Prowess match, I was really impressed how well this went, even with a Path to Exile deck. We have certainly less removal than the Sultai deck I've run, but we had less issues all in all. Also, thanks due to Kor Firewalker and Wall of Omens, I guess. So that felt pretty amazing. Now I'm torn between Bant and Sultai. Both decks are a lot of fun to pilot, actually. I like them both a lot. I think the meta is nice. You just have to prepare for these aggressive decks while still keeping up with the grindy mirrors, I guess. All the other decks in between are fine. Sure, I lost to Storm, which is funny because I just recently talked about the Storm matchup with someone else and said I can't remember when I lost to Storm the last time with a blue-white deck, and then the next time that I play Storm was exactly today, and suddenly I lose against Storm, so now I can't remember again to lose. But in general, I don't think the matchup is that horrible. You just have to play tighter, unlike I did. Again, I knew that he was playing Empty the Warrens. I knew that the moment he played a ritual with nothing else and was preparing for it. So if I know that I have to counter the Goblin Electromancer, then he can't do that in that turn, and we gain more time, build up the Cryptic if he attempts it the next time. We had Whale of Summer in hand, so we can maybe get him with Cryptic plus Whale, so get ahead on resources, eventually drop a Teferi. He can't counter anything anymore and has to run his stuff into us, and yeah, go from there. Like, I know how to win these matchups, but for some reason I had some brain lag there, and the first game was just unlucky, I guess, so yeah, that happens. But anything else was pretty nice. Maybe I made some mistakes somewhere else, but what is also more difficult is planning ahead with the land drops. That can sometimes be really challenging. I also noticed that with the Sultai deck, suddenly you need that green, that third green source to play the Uro and escape it in one turn through their Graveyard Hate, like Cling to Dust. You can do that because it only attacks one card for 4 mana, so there are situations that come up, but if you then don't fetch the third green source during the game because you maybe needed the double white and fetched out all the Hallowed Fountains or tapped loosely the third forest away or something, and you suddenly find yourself in a situation where you can't do that in one turn, and then yeah, the Uro can't carry, and this is mostly the case. So yeah. If you run blue-white, I really think add Uro. It's just too strong not to add it. I just can recommend it. It always pulls its weight, and even I think it's even strong enough to warrant this warped up mana base here. Like, the mana base could be smooth like the back half of a little baby, but I think that Uro is good enough that it is, yeah, you know what I mean, that it can be argued that the warp of the mana base is enough just because of this card. Now I get brain lags, it's past midnight now, I have to work tomorrow, so I don't get out any more nice words. Write in the comment section what you think, like, subscribe, share, and that would help me really to grow my channel if you like the content. And yeah, you can support me this way. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, I hope to see you back in the next league. Thanks as always. Have a great day, and bye bye. Magic's out.